Yay Networks.
Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil, and I can't wait for you to hear all of the Great Girlfriend magic on today's show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and your paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy!
And don't you just love how I brought in our studio audience today? Those are my friends and family, y'all. They're here to clap it up and celebrate this great girlfriend magic that is happening here on the show.
I'm bringing up a great girlfriend, a sister, just a champion, a giant of a woman, Teneshia Jackson Warner, who is the founder of the Igami Agency, and she's also the author of The Big Stretch. I'm so excited because this last experience is designed to make sure you stay outside. Hey, Unique. Make sure you stay outside the boundaries. We're trying to get you out of the bounds. Some of you came bound, and we want you outside of the bounds because they said nothing great happens in your comfort zone, right? So the idea is that you are outside of that boundary and you stay there. And Teneshia, who is a dream warrior, is the perfect person to work us into that next dimension of expectation. So would you just stand up with me? Look at Teneshia and just clap it up, because first of all, she's looking good. That's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend.
This is a journey into sound.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, Teneshia.
Look how beautiful. First off, yes, for the outfit change, right?
All right, the stage is all yours.
This is my friend right here. This is my great girlfriend. But I have an Alabama accent, so you'll hear me say friend.
We love it.
How are y'all doing, ladies? Hello, great girlfriends. Let me tell you, I'm so excited. This is my first in-person speaking engagement since March of 2020. So I'm so happy just to be here with you. So we're gonna end today. First off, are y'all ready to put in the work? Michelle, do you think they're ready to put in the work? She said no. Michelle, my girlfriend too. Are y'all ready to put in the work? All right, well, we wanna make sure that when you leave this experience, that you have some actionable tips to move forward some of the dreams that are in your heart. So, the first thing that I want to ask you is, during your time here today, and it doesn't even just have to be about today, because a lot of times when I pose this question, ladies already know the answer. So, during your time here today, and or perhaps you walked in with the desire in your heart, I am curious, how many of you all walked in with the vision, with the dream, with an idea, or something that you know you want to do to move you forward? Let me see by show of hands. Okay, don't be shy about your dreams, because you might have the answer of your dreams right in here. If you walked in here, let me see by the hands again. Okay. All right, good, good. And then for those of you all that did not raise your hand, that is okay too, because as we go through this exercise, perhaps you will be inspired and moved or connected to your dream. So I am Teneshia Jackson Warner. I am the CEO of Igami Group, a marketing firm based in New York. I am a wife, and like many of you, I wear many hats, but if you were to ask my friends, give you that one word that says, who is Teneshia? That would be, I am a dreamer. And by that, I believe in the impossible. I believe that we have the power within our imaginations to create what's next. And I've been living a dream journey for 17 years. And somewhere along the way, after being really crazy, because that's another thing, for all my dreamers that are in the room, how many of you all even identify with a dreamer? Okay, all right, so for all my dreamers that are in the room, you also have to become comfortable with being identified as radical or crazy. I'm good with either of those titles, okay? And so somewhere along my 17-year journey, I was inspired to inspire other dreamers as well. I created a platform called the Dream Project, and we used to host it as a symposium in Atlanta, and we brought in tons of speakers to share their dreamer's blueprint. So I had an opportunity to not only learn from my journey, but I spoke with amazing people like Magic Johnson, Jennifer Fleiss, Kathy Hughes, just interviewing tons of dreamers, over 200, to basically get the blueprint to share with other dreamers. And all of those interviews actually led to the creation of the Big Stretch, which that's what I'm going to take you all through. So the Big Stretch is a 90-day exercise that will get you started in moving that idea from idea to reality. And it's action-oriented, and it's a 4-phase approach, so it's over 12 weeks. And there's different phases that we're going to talk about today. And these are the universal truths of a dreamer's journey. Trust me, after talking to 200 dreamers, it was amazing to start seeing the commonalities. So the first thing is, here's sort of how the dreamer's journey works. You're inspired, you have an idea, you have a concept, and sometimes you are even scared to allow yourself to open up to even think about what's possible. But when I ask you all how many of you had a dream, I would say about 3/4 of the room raised their hand. You were really clear. And then there was, I'd say maybe less than half that didn't raise their hand, and that's okay too. Well, if you're not even giving yourself that time to imagine or connect with the dream, sometimes it's hard. So for my mom, she is the type, I'll say, what's your dream? And she's only trying to say something that's realistic, that she knows that she can achieve. And then she starts to think about how am I going to do it too prematurely. And then she says, I don't have one. How many of you all can relate to that? So that's dangerous to start thinking about the how prematurely. So here's what I want you to know. First and foremost, before I take you through the 4 phases, I want you to know that that idea, that dream, the vision, that vision, idea, and dream, it's always over here, okay? You are here. I don't know why God made it this way. He just did, right? The dream, in order for you to reach it, it is going to require an expansion of yourself outside of your comfort zone, an expansion of yourself to meet another version of yourself that's waiting to meet you. But you gotta be willing, all of the fear that's in your face, all of the nervousness, but this is my land of familiar, you gotta be willing to shake all of that up and stretch and reach for that vision, that dream, that next version of yourself. So I know I'd love to make it interactive. I'm looking at my girlfriend, Michelle, and I know you all heard, who wears a shirt that says CEO? Boss Lady Michelle. That's who does that. But as you all know, Michelle had a very thriving career. I would say she's an amazing dreamer for me to bring into this exercise. She was already doing really, really good. And I'm sure that when she stepped out and reached for her new role, CEO, when she reached for her new role, that required her to stretch all over again. So one of the greatest robbers of an extraordinary life is a really, really, really good life. And I can look at you all and tell we got some good lives going on in here, right?
So great girlfriends, if you're like me, your holiday season is super busy and you might be looking for ways to simplify your meals without compromising flavor or nutrition. I have the solution for you. Introducing my favorite Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Factor can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Who doesn't want to get the best meal at your door? And guess what? They have over 45 different meals for you to try out. And they can be ready within 2 minutes, just 2 minutes in the microwave. So you're getting fresh, never frozen meals that are literally ready in 2 minutes, and all you have to do is heat and enjoy. For me, it's a win, right? Because there's no mess, there's no prep, the kitchen is clean, everyone's fed, everyone's healthy, everyone's happy. And we've got over 45 different options, and I have more time in the bank. So this is a win for Team Moody, and I want you to make it a win for your family. And you can get Gourmet Plus options if you really want to level up your meals during the holiday season. You can get these Gourmet Plus options prepared to perfection by chefs, and again, ready to eat in record time. So you have things like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus, and just so many different meats and, vegan options if you need. So I love that Factor has made life simple for me, for you, and for every single family out there who's trying to reclaim your time and your energy without compromising nutrition. So this November, you can get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. You choose your meals and enjoy these fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to the door, ready in 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Here's how you get involved and you tap in today. Head to factormeals.com/girlfriends50 and use code girlfriends50 to get 50% off. That's code girlfriends50 at factormeals.com/girlfriends50 to get 50% off. I promise you'll be thanking me later. Enjoy, great girlfriends.
But you have to almost be careful that you don't let the good rob you of your extraordinary. You have to be intentional to examine where you are to determine, is this still it for me? Is this still my dream? Am I standing in a dream that's expired? Because sometimes we get titles that we identify with, and the titles, we start to say, okay, that's who I am. But potentially, maybe you're being asked to shed some of those titles so that you can stretch and allow another version of yourself to be born. And I've learned to do this continuously over and over and over again. And that's another thing. Iconic dreamers, they are accustomed to living in a lifestyle that requires them to be okay with expanding over and over again. So are we all in agreement that you are a willing yes to the stretch? All right, well, let's go on this journey. So phase one of the stretch is really about allowing yourself that time to truly dream. When was the last time that you looked on your calendar and you said, you know what, I got a 2-hour block just to do nothing but just imagine? Never, right? Because we're so busy that's where I love to start, is by saying, give yourself that time. So for me, I am a country girl. My cousin is here, Shawanda, and I'm saying country, like dirt road country. So for me, one of my ideal dream environments is to go to nature. And I go away to a cabin, and I like get it in and just listen and be still to hear from God. I've met people that on the treadmill, that's where they get their ideas. Swimming or by the beach. So my first question for you as we talk about the dream phase is, do you know where your ideal dream environment is? And we got to make this a little interactive. I'm going to come out. I'm going to come up. I'm going to come out. Come up. Does anybody want to tell me where their dream environment is? A place where you get ideas. Yes.
So close, I won't make you walk far. By the water.
Okay. By the water.
In the kitchen.
In the kitchen? I love it. Are you cooking or are you just standing there and stuff coming through?
Cooking, but...
Okay. You cooking? Listen, I want to invite you to my house to get your dream environment on. Okay. Banana pudding? Okay, it's a whole connection. Okay, in the kitchen. Who else wants to say their dream environment? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna start right here.
The shower.
The shower. You know, I've met a lot of people that was their ideal dream environment. Who else?
In the park.
In the park. Okay, I love your hair. In the park. All right.
An empty hotel room.
An empty hotel room. So for you, I would even recommend going away and just sitting in that hotel room. Anyone else? Yes, beautiful.
On the plane, like when I'm traveling.
On the plane. You know, I've met a lot of people that said their dream environment was on the plane. Ty Beauchamp is one of those people. I don't know if you know Ty. You do? Ty gets a lot of her great ideas on the plane. So in this dream phase, I want you to know lesson number 1, you're to commit to give yourself the time to imagine. 2, understand what your dream environment is. And be intentional to put yourself in that dream environment. Also, in this dreaming phase, and I'm kind of taking you all through the 4-phase approach in the book, The Big Stretch. In this dreaming phase, I also encourage you to examine your dream DNA. So a lot of times we're familiar with our family tree, but have you ever thought about your dream family tree? What were you taught about dreaming? Was it encouraged or was it not? Now, when I did this exercise, I realized when I went back a few steps, one of the people that had the greatest influences on my life, I'll say she is my best friend, even though she's transitioned. I actually think this is my second time taking the stage since my grandma transitioned. I still say she is my best friend, right? Her dream DNA that she passed on to me was basically don't. It was, you get yourself a good job, something better than what I had, and it's all about stability and security. And it wasn't until later, after I followed that dream DNA that was taught to me, and I landed myself in a good job at IBM Global Services, sitting at a desk when I realized I have a problem. I hate this. And when I say hate, it was an amazing company, but I just didn't choose it based on purpose or passion, right? I really was choosing a path based on learnings from my grandmother, my grandfather, and I never examined the influence on my choices up until that point. And so I want you to think about, what were you taught about dreaming? Sometimes I meet dreamers and I'm like, you weren't scared, you were just going for it. And then I realized that they were in close proximity with other dreamers and they learned that it was okay. They learned that, you can go for it without any fear. So this next question that I want you all to think about, that I want you to commit to, actually, when you leave here, there's some exercises that it's going to be downloadable for you. But I want you to commit to taking time to examine what were you taught in your dream DNA. And so looking at the life of your father, looking at the life of your mother, at your grandparents, maybe your aunties. We all had that fierce auntie, right? What did their life teach you about dreaming? And it's important to examine your dream DNA, because when you do this, you can decide, you know what? I'm going to keep this part, I'm going to keep this part, but I'm going to shed this part because it's not going to serve me any further. Shawanda and I, we're connected through my father, my cousin right there. And my father's family was from a family of entrepreneurs. And so their risk tolerance was a lot higher than that of my grandma, who, I'm telling you, she's still right now, before she passed away, she wanted to know, do you think they'll take you back on that job? I was gone 15 years, 15, almost 17 years, and what she wanted to know on her way out, do you think you can go back? So I want you to commit to examining your dream DNA and then deciding what inside of that DNA will serve you and what will not. I had to make a decision, which at the time when I made the choice, it was unknowingly, I didn't even know, but I had to make the choice that I was willing to shed that belief, and I was very protective of my dreams. And so when I made the decision, sitting at that desk at IBM Global Services, I'm gonna type this resignation, and I'm gonna leave, and I don't have another job, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, I made the decision, I'm gonna be bold, I'm gonna do it, but I am not bold enough to pick up the phone and tell my grandma I'm about to quit. But what I was doing was starting to protect my vision, which leads me to another part when you're in the dream phase. Do you know who your dream champions are? And do you know who your dream bullies are? So a dream champion is someone within your circle that you can share with them a vision, an idea, where you see yourself going, and they're gonna reflect back to you the best of who you're becoming. Not who you are, they reflect back to you who you are becoming. And you know when you've been in the presence of a dream champion, you walk away like, you know what, maybe I can start this cooking business. Or you walk away like, she said I was good at this and I didn't know it. Like they're just reflecting back to you the best of yourself. Now, a dream bully is someone that, I always like to say this, is someone that sometimes, as you start to stir up your comfort zone, out of love for you, they're gonna lean in and be more protective, and they unknowingly sometimes are telling you things that are shrieking your dream, that will not have you go for it. You have to really know the distinction between two. And sometimes the people that we love the most we'll find on that dream bully list. And so without me really knowing it, when I decided to pack my bags up after I left IBM Global Service and moved to New York City, not knowing a soul, and I decided I can't tell my grandmother. I'm not gonna tell her. I didn't know, but ding, 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 ding. My grandmother was the biggest bully in the state of Florida. And she didn't know it. And so she told me, she said, somebody told me you be on them stages talking about me. And she said, let me tell you something. Keep my name out your mouth. And she also said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself telling them people to dream. So she was hilarious, you all. But my grandmother, you can feel the love that I have for my grandmother, right? Unknowingly, I had to decide in my late 20s, it's not my safe space to share my dreams. So I want you to make that list. Who are your dream champions? Know who they are. It might be your girlfriend. Hopefully it's your great girlfriend right here in this room, right? Michelle, are you my dream champion? I'm your dream champion. So write it down. Maybe it's your great girlfriend right here. Know your champions. That is the place that you go to trust your visions and dreams with. Know your dream bullies and know when it's time to zip it. And sometimes that may be people that we love the most. You got that one? So we got our champions. We have our bullies. I want to see what else I want to make sure you all know in the dream stage. I do want to talk to you about this lesson a bit. Make sure when you are dreaming, the entire idea is there's some magic in it. If you can tell me your dream and then tell me, and I'm going to do it like this, 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 and this. I'll say, I don't think that's your dream because you know how it's going to happen. The dream oftentimes is so big that you don't know all of the steps around how it's going to come to be. What you do know is that it's a calling within you. There's something inside of you calling you towards it. So I don't want you to think about the how too prematurely. Do you all have that? And allow yourself that time to imagine without knowing how it's all going to work out. So that's the dream phase. I want you to commit to writing down. Now, I have to come hug this sister right here because she is something. You are being shaken up, right? God has been working with you, and there is something in you that needs to be birthed, and you are here right now for a reason, surrounded by all of these beautiful women that are your champion that's saying, yes, you can do this. All right? And I want you to surround her in love. So I want you to also, whatever that dream is, before you leave here today, I want you to capture it, write it down in some form. You can write it in your phone. And I want you to tell at least one of your great girlfriends what this vision is. And when you tell that great girlfriend, I collectively think with this many dreamers in a room, we can actually make magic happen. You just never know if the answer or the connection or the relationship that you need is right beside you. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. In this exercise of you all sharing with one another what that dream is, and I'm going to make sure that when Sybil comes up and she does the affirmation, we'll somehow leave some time for you all to at least tell each other that dream that's within your heart. I am going to believe that magic is going to happen. I am going to believe that you're going to start seeing a way for the thing that God has put in your heart to come to pass. So there's many more phases. I'm going to wind them down quickly. I'm going to invite you to go to thebigstretchbook.com, and I actually have these exercises that I'm referencing for you available at no cost, so you can download them and go deeper into these exercises. If by chance you find that the exercises are helping, of course I'm going to recommend to get the book, but only get the book if you're ready to do the work. Because we said 90 days and it's an action-oriented plan. So if you just want rah inspiration, don't do that. We want you in action, in motion, okay? So that's the dream phase. Next up, in design, after you have that dream, we want you to ask yourself questions around what part of that can happen within the next 12 months. Describe it. That's going to be your 12-month vision. And in order for that to happen in 12 months, what would need to occur over the next 90 days? And that 90-day will be your 90-day action plan. So it's taking big dream into what part of the dream can I do over 12 months to what do I need to be doing in the next 90 days? When you write your plans in pencil. Did 2020 not teach us anything else? I had big business plans, and then 2020 shake it. So write your plans in pencil so that if something happens, almost expect the unexpected, and you turn it over like my girlfriend here. Is that an eraser? Yeah, it's an erasable pen. You turn it around, you erase, and you find a new way forward. So write those plans in pencil. That third phase, dare, which there's lots of exercises there. Get ready to dare. So to me, the dare is like the elasticity in the stretch. You got to be comfortable taking bold actions in the name of your dream. For me, that was moving to New York and not knowing a soul. It also was pitching myself to Kimora and Russell Simmons and asking for an opportunity to work for no fee over and over and over and over again, to the point of it was kind of registering like a borderline stalker, to one day landing that opportunity. All of those were bold, daring actions, but it led to me going from intern to general manager of Kimura's company in less than a year. Bold, daring actions. So be ready to dare. And the last thing as I wind down is when you decide that you are a dreamer and you're going for your dream journey, you are doing this dream for the long term. It's easy almost the first couple years when you're in the passionate phase, but I want to warn you, I don't know a single dreamer that has not had to fight giants. He's raising his hand. The giant of rejection, the giant of no, the giant of lack of funding, the giant of lack of access to resources. So you gotta be ready to be a fighter. And when I say fighter, I'm like dream warrior, dukes up fighter. So if you look closely anywhere, even at Sybil's story, to make this a reality, that's a dream warrior. I witnessed her fight to make sure this became a reality for you. So I don't want you to be shocked, and there's tools in the do phase to make sure you're ready to fight the giants that stand in between you and your dream, and that you're committed to this dream for the long term. So that's it. I'm going to wind down. If you're in this room and you are committed to taking some bold actions in the name of your dream, let me hear you say yes. And if you're in this room and you're ready for the big stretch, let me hear you say yes. All right, we want to hear the stories. Ladies, come on up, Sybil. They got my time. Look, I'm going to honor a stage. I'm not going to go over. We're not going over on the program. So thank you all so much. I enjoyed my time with you.
Give it up for Teneshia Jackson Warner. All right, great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast and the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group at The Great Girlfriends, follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends, and on Twitter at @the_great GFS. I'm Sybil Amuti, and I'm out. Peace.